I woke up around 6:45 a.m. on day 4. It usually takes about an hour from the time I wake up to the time I start hiking. I like to take my time to pack up, use the restroom, have breakfast, filter water, and maybe do a couple stretches before heading out in the morning. I was planning to climb Stratton Mountain that day, the first real test on the long trail going north. I finished the climb up Stratton in the fog, where I took a break and ate a second breakfast. I met a group of AT hikers at the top of the mountain. They'd just got into contact with a friend who checked into the ER after being bitten by multiple ticks and was getting sick and developing a bad reaction. It's some pretty sad news for them to hear for someone they've been hiking 1,600 plus miles with. Well, from what I see, this is supposed to be the best view on the trail up to this point. It was really cool to see the clouds whip by from the top of the fire tower. I filled up water from a spring near the top of Stratton, which I assumed would be perfectly fine to drink from without filtering. From here is pretty much all downhill for 10 miles until Route 11. I passed by Stratton Pond and several mountain streams on the other side of Stratton. Parts of the trail were really getting muddy, but a lot of the times the trail had plenty of rocks, logs, and 2x4s to walk on to stay dry. It's definitely thanks to the Green Mountain Club and the many volunteers who work to maintain the long trail. I mean, that's gotta be a bear trap, right? Alright, I made my decision. It's like 3:30 and I'm deciding to take the spur trail and hike into Manchester Center. Maybe I'll be able to hitch in, maybe I'll get picked up by someone, we'll see. If not, I think it's just another 1.5 mile road walk into town, so shouldn't be too bad. But the outdoor store closes at 6, so I'm hoping I can just make it to there, grocery store after that, maybe get a bite to eat somewhere, and then get a ride back to the trailhead. And if all that happens today, I will be thrilled. If not, I don't know what I'll do, so let's make it happen. I walked by Prospect Rock with a great view of the Valley of Manchester. There I met a couple nice couples who were asking me questions about the trail, and they were super kind to offer a ride into town. I was pumped to finally make it into Manchester. Right away I went to Gear House Outdoor Store for a new Sawyer Squeeze water filter. I took and left a few things at their hiker box as well. I resupplied at Price Chopper and loaded up on food. Finally, I got a yummy burrito from the avocado pit and hung out at the town park. So I went to get a burrito in town in Manchester, hung out there for a while, charged my phone, my power bank for a little bit for what I could. I went to McDonald's, sat there for another hour, hour and a half, charged my power bank, charged my phone. And then I decided to head out of town. It's like a 4 or 5 mile walk back to the trailhead. It's like 8:30, sun just set. And I didn't even get I don't know, a third of a mile down the road. I was basically still in Main Street. This dude drives by me. He puts his brake lights on. Then he keeps going. I'm like, was he debating on giving me a ride? He recognized me as a hiker for sure. I should have had my thumb stuck out, but he circles around and asks if he can take me back to the trailhead. I'm like, dude, you're the man. So super nice people in Vermont. I got rides into and out of town without even having to like ask or use my thumb. So can't ask for much more than that. I'm getting lucky. I should have hiked the extra couple miles to Bromley Shelter. Instead, I woke up at 5 a.m. to the rain and had to hike while it was pouring rain that morning. My tent was soaked and shoes covered in slugs. I arrived to Bromley Shelter and planned to take an extended break to dry some things and wait out the storm. I continued the hike up Bromley and was pleasantly surprised to find out it's a ski resort. I think this is a ski slope. This might be part of a ski mountain, Bromley Mountain maybe? I continued on north along the Bromley Ridge over Stiles Peak and Peru Peak. Even though there weren't many amazing 360-degree views, I was enjoying walking the ominous wilderness among the clouds. Really cool moss lined the trail on both sides. Plenty of animal activity and moose poop galore. The strong smell of balsam fir keeping me going. For these reasons and many more, the Peru Peak Wilderness would be my favorite section of the long trail. I met a mom and a daughter at Peru Peak Shelter. They forgot their sporks on an overnight trip, so I gave them the trail names Mango and Cheese, as they had to eat their mac and cheese with mango strips. Peru Peak Wilderness is one of 8 wilderness areas in the Green Mountain National Forest in Vermont. This wilderness was created in '84 by the Vermont Wilderness Act, and its 7,800 acres are managed by the U.S. Forest Service. Interestingly enough, there are at least 70 unique natural communities within the Green Mountain National Forest, including wetlands, evergreen stands, alpine meadows, rocky outcrops, and cliffs. Moose, beaver, coyote, white-tailed deer, black bear, and wild turkey are all known to inhabit the wilderness. What a view. One of the only full clear views without any fog or anything. This is Baker Peak and I just need a little break. This trail is just like vertical for like a quarter mile. Just up this rock slab. And it's all tilted rock too, so not exactly easy to walk on. The Big Branch River Wilderness was stunning. If there is one place I definitely want to come back to on the long trail for a day hike or overnight trip, it would definitely be along Big Branch. I would absolutely love to hang out all day, set up camp, cook a good meal, and soak in one of the many swimming holes along Big Branch. That afternoon, I walked by some remains of the Aldrichville Mill Village. It was an 1890s village, but today only a few substantial stone walls, several ground depressions, half-buried bricks, scattered metal machinery parts, clusters of historic artifacts, and an unnaturally young vegetated landscape remain as surface evidence. The historic road, once a main thoroughfare connecting South and East Wallingford, now the common path of the Long Trail and Appalachian Trails, seems a ghostly footpath. Temporary settlement of Aldrichville was simulated by the desirable virgin forest, comprised mostly of spruce, yellow birch, and hemlock. Years of intensive logging and clear-cutting to feed the hungry mill wrought great changes in the ecosystem. That evening, I walked by a cool rock garden of man-made cairns, passed by the same group of AT hikers from the day before, and walked a quarter-mile off-trail to set up camp by Greenwall Shelter. I was thoroughly enjoying the Green Mountain wilderness and was mentally preparing for the Killington Mountain, first 4,000-foot elevation mountain on the trail, and the start of the difficult northern mountains.